Hello YouTube, Camodo Gaming here, bringing you guys another episode of Scrap Mechanic in the Town, and I'm really excited about today's episode. As you saw from the intro, we've got a brand spanking new building in the town, and this is something that's been requested for quite a while now, so we're gonna go over there, check that out, talk about some plans for the town, and talk a little bit about this weekend because I have some town builds stacked up for you guys. But anyways, remember folks, if you're enjoying Scrap Mechanic, hit that thumbs up button. It helps out my channel a whole lot, and let's jump right into this. Okay, as you can see here, we have a truck, and well, we've got to take some new arcade equipment over to the brand new arcade. Now, this building is actually quite huge. I'm going to go ahead and say this again. We are in the town commercial area. If you haven't seen any of the episodes from that, we had a viewer creation episode yesterday, and a couple days before that we had a gym. So if anybody's somewhat confused as to what we're doing here, now I do at the end of the video have an announcement to make about the old town map and something that I'm doing with it, but I'll talk about that after we check out the new arcade. So yep, just ran a red light, not paying attention to those. Some people were asking about these lights and if we can change them to actual lights. The reason they're logic gates is because there is a light limit, and we have already 4 intersections in the town, and that's going to create quite a bit of chaos if we actually try to put all lights. I guess they would still somewhat illuminate, but I don't know. We'll see what we're going to do about that. But anyways, here is the new arcade. Now, this is actually quite a big building. This took a decent amount of time. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do as far as the arcade. I knew this was a thing and it needed to happen, but you know what? There's actually not that many good reference pictures online of arcades. And funny enough, I found a reference picture from South Park of an arcade, and that's actually what I used to design this building. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at the truck here. Normally I try to include some sort of vehicle with my town builds. Now this truck is really nothing special. It's just a normal truck. It was either going to be this or a kind of like a box truck, but I went with this design, and we just loaded some arcade equipment in the back, and you've kind of got the arcade color here. You get the green sign on it. So say if we're moving equipment in and out of the arcade or taking it off for maintenance, you can pull up here and drop it off. But yeah, I just felt like we needed something just to go along with this build here. But anyways, let's go ahead and step on property. Alright, so we are on property here. Now, one thing I'm trying to do with this town, I don't want that many bearings. Like, I'm trying to cut back as much as possible. And I'm going to do another sweep through the old buildings to see if I can eliminate even more. That way, this is as friendly to you guys as possible. That way, if you don't have the beefy hardware, you can still somewhat run this town map. So, the download will be in the description. But anyways, like I was saying about the building, South Park has a reference, oddly enough. They had a pretty cool arcade. I don't know what it was called or even what episode it was in. It just pulled up on Google Images. And they used these colors. It's got the blue base with the green kind of grid pattern on it. And I added these lips to it, and I felt like the building itself, I mean, it could have realistically been like a big rectangle, but I added some curves in and out to try to give it some sort of style to it. I would say, you know, I haven't seen an arcade in a long time, and it's actually kind of sad because they've kind of disappeared in most places. Some places like Dave & Buster's and all that still have arcades in it, but the dedicated big arcade buildings are pretty much extinct. So I didn't have much reference material, so I figured let's try to make this as modern looking as possible. Now the front here, you can see the arcade road out. It does look a bit like a cinema or a movie theater. I did notice that after I built it, but I still think this is okay. Another thing you're probably noticing is the pixel art that's on top of the building. Now, if you've been a viewer for a long time, you know exactly where that pixel art is from. When we did the very first town episode, for whatever reason, to prove the point that I could weld stuff to like buildings, I did that pixel art, and those pieces stayed on top of the auto shop, or I think they're on the side of it, for the longest time. And I think they've finally found a home on top of the arcade. I think it looks really cool, just gives it a nice retro feel. But anyways, that's enough about the outside. If you're wondering where this is, like I said, we drove over here. The gym's to the side, that's from the last town episode that I did that was a build, and we're kind of across from the city hall. But anyways, let's go ahead and we're gonna hop right into this. Alright, here we go. We've got double doors here, one on each side. Let's go ahead and hit that. And here is the main lobby of the arcade. It's the only part of the arcade that's got any sort of windows in it. Normally arcades are fairly dark, so you've got this little sky roof or skylight in here. You've got the ticket booths. Now the way I pictured this arcade working, it's still a token-based arcade. A lot of times you have the card-based ones where they hand you a card, you load some money on it, and you do it that way, but that's no fun. I like actual coins. So we've got coin machines, so you would come in here, maybe buy some coins, or say if you have, they do some sort of passes for stuff like this, so say if you have like almost like a season pass, you can come in here. So that's what these are for. So you need to scan yourself before you get into the arcade. There's two ways to get in. We're gonna go in from the right, we'll swing around, and we'll kind of go through all the machines. Alright, so here is the inside of the arcade. This looks fantastic. I have to thank Mr. Scrubmaster. We went in here and we just started building arcade machines, and we were just placing them everywhere, trying to feel how this should actually look, and I think we nailed it. So what we're going to do here, let's just walk through all the machines. You've got a drink machine here to the right. Over here to the left, this is like the token machine. So say if you're done at the front counter, you need some more tokens, you can turn in or put in some cash, spit out some tokens here, so that's a pretty cool looking little machine here. Now, what is an arcade without skee-ball? And I have to thank Mr. Dogelord on this one. I was going through, we were designing arcade machines, and then I was like, all right, I need to look at the workshop and see if there's anything that I'm forgetting arcade-wise. And then I saw this skee-ball, and I messaged him, and I was like, would it be okay if we use the skee-ball in our arcade here, because it's so nice looking. And he agreed to that, so definitely thanks to Mr. Dogelord. I'll link his workshop in the description. He's got a fantastic workshop with tons of stuff on it. So yeah, you can see the where the balls would come through here. You've got lights on it, and they are a little bit off the wall. I'm trying to minimize bearings, so this is like one of the only machines that actually has a couple bearings in it. But yeah, it's really cool looking. So you've got a couple of those over here to the corner. These are your bathrooms. They're just wide open. They're just here. I've always got to point those out. Like, here we are, bathrooms. So back here, actually you can see across, all the way across the arcade from here. Back here, this is the prize wall. Most respectable arcades have a awesome prize wall. So say you're winning all these tickets, you're ready to go turn it in. You can come up to the counter, turn in your tickets, get you some prizes. You got some ducks here, you've got, I don't know, golden nuts. I don't know what the point of those are. Hey, you can get some boots, you can get the brand new mug, you can get the grand prize, which is a big snowman with a backwards cap, some flowers, sensors. It's Scrap Mechanic. You just kind of have to imagine that these are actually good prizes, even though they kind of suck. But anyways, you can walk behind the counter, so say if you're role-playing in here, somebody can sit back here and work the ticket booth. Now in this corner, you've got a little bit of pixel art on the right side. And these are the Dance Dance Revolution machines. If you've been to any arcade or even malls, sometimes just randomly have these things in there. These are the machines where you step on, it's got the little screen playing some music, and you've got to step on the pattern. And people, I feel really uncomfortable watching people play this. But you can go up here, so let's just walk our character up. It's got the sensors that pick it up, so you can just kind of dance along here and act like a fool. I don't know, I'm not saying everybody that plays the game is a fool, but I would make myself look really bad if I did this. So you can see the logic gates down there, they're all lit up where you would step, and then you've got the just the black ones right all around it. So we've got a couple of those, like I said, pixel art on the wall. Now you're probably wondering what those are. Those are, let me go ahead and walk over here where you can see the actual pool table. Those are pool sticks. So if you want to come over here, a lot of these will have, most of these I think actually take coins. You'll like load in maybe $1, $1.50 of coins, and stick it in, and it should shoot the balls out on one side. Scrubmaster actually designed the pool table here. He did a really good job using the mugs because they look like the little pockets. So that's actually pretty neat looking. Right beside that, you have air hockey. Now, I really wish we could design games like this in Scrap Mechanic and make them compact and usable in a setting like this, and unfortunately we can't. But yeah, air hockey would activate it here. I put some gates up at the top, and then you would just play against somebody else. I'm not good at air hockey, admittedly. I am terrible at it, and I don't even know how. I mean, you figured you could just block your goal the whole time with your little puck or your little handle thing. and I don't even know what they call those, but yeah, I'm absolutely terrible at air hockey, but I love the game. Air hockey's awesome. It's really awesome to watch if you get two people that are really good at it. Back here on this back wall, picture this being your generic racing game, whether it be, my personal favorite's probably Daytona USA. It's an old arcade. I think they're actually bringing it back, but it's probably from the 90s, the last, or at least one of the last ones. And you would have probably about 4 of these lined up against the wall. That way 4 people can go at once and race each other. So that's what this is. You got the little checkered flag up above it. But it could be any other racing game. Maybe it's, I've seen some like Fast and Furious games or some rally games. So it's just one of those. Now we're gonna walk over here. These are the older arcade machines, and if you have a good eye, if you're kind of, you know the channels that I play with or I've been associated with, you'll notice some colors here. Here on the end, this is a little claw game machine. I'm going to point this out real quick. It's a little duck game, so you can try to win you a little prize duck. But as far as the arcade machines here, go ahead and look at some of these colors. You've got retro specs here, which I'm actually really jealous of retro specs colors. That color scheme is so satisfying to look at. That blue, white, and orange. So you've got him. You got somebody like Moombo who kind of changes his colors a little bit, but they're mostly consistently like blue and black. You got Mr. Khan here. You got Scrapman. Over here, we got a couple of generic machines that don't actually or aren't related to anybody. You've got the machine. This is an odd looking one. It's brown. I don't know really what game that would be. Back over here, this is Scrubmaster's colors. Over here, this is Non-Newtonian's colors. Somewhat of Diesel designs right there. Got a couple other machines that might look like somebody that I've played with. I don't think I've really played with too many other people. I don't have a machine here, and I noticed that. So maybe I'll color one. Maybe this will be my machine here. So yeah, you've got all those. Some of the machines, they do vary a little bit. You can see some curves on them. We tried not to just copy the same machine over and over and just stick them up and down. We did want to make them look a little bit different. And you've got the nice green lighting above them, so that's pretty cool. This is just back behind the ticket counter, so say if you're up here playing, you can come back here. You've got all the menus and all that on the back. And oh, I missed a paint spot. That is gonna bug me. Hold on. Gotta fix that. Somebody will point that out in the video and it'll drive me absolutely nuts. So there we go. That's painted. So anyways, let's walk out here. Now, this arcade's pretty much got it all. We even have a mini bowling alley back here. So this is pretty cool. And oh, almost forgot it. This is a machine that drives me nuts. This is one of those coin pusher machines. You grab a token, or sometimes they do it with quarters. You load it into the top, and you've got the arm that pushes out. We would have made this actually work, but it's probably not worth the bearings that's going to take to make it push out. So yeah, you drop a coin in the top. It lands. You try to land it in the back, and you try to push more coins out in the little chute here. So that's what that is. Now on to the mini bowling alley. You've got it over here. We've got 3 lanes. I think this actually looks really cool. You've got some pixel art on the walls. You've got some overhead lighting that's just lighting the lanes up. So that definitely came out really, really nice. They don't actually work. I would like to have like a working bowling alley, but it'd have to be quite a bit bigger than this. So here's your ball return. You would roll down. You've got your gutters here. We accidentally, when we built this back section where the machine is, we closed the gutters off, but we actually opened those back up. Got bowl above it. Like I said, pixel art on the wall. Got some bowling balls. This actually looks really cool. And behind here, this is the snack bar slash where you can get your bowling shoes. I know that's an odd combination, and you probably don't want those two together. It's a little gross. But yeah, you can come back here. We've got bowling shoes on the back wall. You got a little storeroom in here. You can get some refreshments. That is supposed to be a pizza. It kind of looks like a cake. I don't know. I don't really know what that's supposed to be. I think it is a pizza though. Got that. You got a cash register here. We do have a couple areas where you can set in, say if you're tired of walking around an arcade or if you're waiting to bowl. You've got some areas over here and here in the corner to sit at. And one of the last things, you got a little bit more pixel art. It's Pac-Man with a freakishly huge eye. Might fill that in and maybe put a little nut piece or bowl piece. But I think it still looks good. But anyways, that's pretty much the interior of the arcade here. Like I said, this was something that you guys have been asking for a while now, and I wasn't sure quite how to pull it off. And I think we did a pretty good job. It's a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. When I was first picturing doing some sort of arcade, I was like, alright, well, it's going to be a small building. But no, this came out pretty massive. So I am going to probably do a movie theater soon because I'm pretty sure that's going to come up next. But we will probably do that maybe next week. I've already got the plans for this weekend all planned out. But anyways, that's pretty much the builds here. I'm going to talk just a second here about what's going to happen this weekend. Tomorrow we have a build, which is basically a 2.0 of an old build. It's probably one of my favorite town buildings, but it is gonna be quite a bit better. We've already started working on it. It looks really cool. Me, Scrubmaster, Non-Newtonian have gone in there, and I don't want to spoil anything, but we will have another town build tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we are also going to do one more episode, and it's going to be starting one of the other districts. I've talked a bit about the neighborhood. I'm going to finally stick a lot of those viewer creation houses on streets and give them full yards, what they really truly deserve and what I couldn't provide in the other towns. So we're going to go ahead and set those up. So we've got that, got quite a few lots here, so comment below with any suggestions for the town here. I'm pretty much open to anything here in the commercial district, and then we'll move over, we'll keep doing builds in this, and we'll start the other districts up. Now, one last thing, I did mention the old town map earlier. I am going into that old town map, and I am fixing its issues. Its issue is that it runs at about probably 25 to 30 FPS on a 1070, which is pretty unacceptable. What it is, when the new engine came out, it kind of killed the town map, and I wasn't able to go back and really mess with it. But I'm going back, I'm killing a lot of the bearings in the map, and I'm replacing with some new blocks and trying to make it look a little bit better. And I hope to have that just as a little revival project. That way I can release that map, almost like a final version of that map to you guys, because I don't know if we're really going to be able to add too much to it, but I do want to make it runnable again. So we'll probably have an episode once that's done. It's probably going to be a couple weeks. I'll get that done. We'll do a little tour of the old town map and kind of release a final version of it, because that is where the town started, and I am extremely proud of that map. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode here today. If you like to like and subscribe, everything helps my channel, and we will see you guys next time on Scrap Mechanic. Thank you.